Kid Licorish is an anime enthusiast. Odie is the opposite of that. We're gonna play some games and we're gonna test her knowledge of anime on this bonus episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna make magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the GOAT, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving way, we like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh. Black and Snerdy, yeah. Black and Snerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together to shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And we are the aforementioned Snerds here on a bonus episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast. So, here is what's going to happen. So, for the listeners who may not know, also don't forget to like and subscribe and to listen to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and whatnot, and join our YouTube channel. For those of you who are not in the know, Kid Licorish, myself, I'm a big anime and manga enthusiast. I love anime. I grew up with it, started with Toonami, started with Dragon Ball, and it just cascaded into a die-hard love ever since. I am now a 37-year-old man who watches anime pretty much consistently. Odie, she is not as interested in anime as I am. I have made several attempts to introduce anime to her. We have watched several shows. We are currently watching One Piece. We spent the better part of the pandemic catching up on all of One Piece. We are finally caught up. And in that time, I also introduced her to many more anime, such as Erased, some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure shit. And by and large, what would you say is your relationship to anime?
I mean, obviously, I've always known about anime when we were younger. I feel like the first anime that I knew about that was popular was Sailor Moon.
Sure.
I never really got into it. Perhaps I didn't have the channel it came on or whatever. I just never really watched it. I remember like trying to get into it because I would say I was probably like 2nd or 3rd grade. And I remember my best friend at the time, she really liked Sailor Moon. So it was like, oh, my best friend likes this thing. I should try it out, see if I'm going to enjoy it or whatever. But I just kind of never got into it. And I think that there are some animes that I've been interested in, mostly movies like, what is it called? Howling Castle?
Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
So like the Ghibli studio films.
Yeah, Kiki's Delivery Service,
sure,
things like that. There was one time... There was one time when I was in elementary school when my aunt accidentally showed my sister and cousin and I a hentai.
Yes.
And it was we watched the whole thing. I don't think that
with your aunt?
Yeah, because it was a weekend where my aunt took me, my cousin Chris, and Shade to her house for the weekend.
And y'all went to Blockbuster. She saw an animated movie.
She had gotten well, they were like, at this point, no DVDs weren't out yet. So I think it was a videotape.
Yeah, so a VHS, yeah.
And I think she had gotten it from someone because she's just like, whatever, I need stuff for these kids to watch.
Sure.
She doesn't know anything about anime. I'm sure that if I asked her about that today, she'd probably be like, yeah, I don't know. It was a confusing cartoon, but whatever.
I gotta imagine it was very confusing.
And I remember watching it and being like very confused.
Sure.
There was, of course, tentacle penises all over the place. Because also the anime, I forget it. I feel like I may have mentioned it to you years ago and you might have helped me find the name. But from what I can remember, I do think that it was one of the like more popular hentai. And it's one where if I tried to look up the scene, 1,000,001 things are gonna come up because it's tentacle porn is very popular in anime and now in live action as well. So it was like a lot of different things going on with it. But I always thought it was so funny that she just did not know. And of course, like when it opens up, it's not immediately porn, right? It's mostly just like the story, people fighting, things like that. And then eventually, as you get into it, then it's like this girl's strung up in the warehouse and like the tentacles are coming to get her and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I would say that's generally like my general thoughts of it or like connection to it. I do think there's some anime with really good storylines, which I appreciate. I really like that movie we watched a few weeks ago where it was just, I forget the name of it, but it was about this guy who's like a student who basically goes back in time with a comet. I think it was something about your name.
It's not Call Me by Your Name.
No,
it might be Your Name. It might be Your Name. What is the name of that movie? I do know what you're referring to.
So I think that it's I think anime.
Yes, it is Your Name.
It's called Your Name. Okay.
Yes.
So I do think that anime, because they tell such a wide variety of stories.
Sure.
That there's really anything for anyone. I generally like the ones that are not just like kind of this random fighting.
Sure.
That there's like a story behind it and a good plot and you can get into it with the characters. Because I think like a story like One Piece, right? It's so many episodes. Like it's a crazy amount of episodes.
1,000+.
Where if they keep going the way they're going, I know that like the students of mine who I know right now like anime and like specifically One Piece, that by the time they get to college, if they haven't already finished it, they're not going to finish it until like they're deep into their 20s because the amount of content that there is. But I appreciate it. And I think that it's a way of being able to tell stories in an interesting way. You're not confined by like real world standards or anything like that. And I would say it's one of those things where I think if there are certain stories I think that lend themselves better to being told in anime version.
Sure.
Compared to live action.
Sure.
And I think it's cool. And I think that anime has pushed animation forward, like the genre of animation forward a lot. Because I don't know if we would get a lot of the great like adult animation, not hentai, but like adult animation without having anime.
Sure.
Because I think like first of all, millennials, because a lot of us grew up on that, it was always something that was like in our cultural zeitgeist, enjoyed it. You could tell about the way that animation styles have changed. A lot of them are a lot more like anime coded than when we were growing up. So I think that all in all, it is a market benefit for us to have anime. And especially because it's like, how many other art forms do we have from other cultures that are like so crazy popular?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
And, they're interesting. They're not all my cup of tea, but I feel like there is something for everyone.
Absolutely. And I did not know that story about you and your cousins and your aunt sitting down to watch this hentai.
I feel like I may have mentioned that early on.
There's a possibility, but it does not come to mind
because I was
that your exposure to anime was Sailor Moon and a woman in a warehouse being fondled by tentacles.
Yes, and I really I really wish
we will, after the podcast, we will track that down.
We gotta
obviously using some sort of blocker on our web browser so that we're not put on a list. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to play a few games.
Okay. I love games.
And all of them are anime-centric.
Okay.
The first game that we are going to play today is Anime or Aninay.
Okay.
The rules of this are really simple. I'm going to read you the premise of an anime.
Okay.
You're going to answer to me if it's real or if it's not real.
Okay.
If it's real, I'll let you know. If it's fake, I'll let you know.
So should I respond anime or Aninay?
You can respond however you would like.
Okay.
If you get it right, you will hear this. But
Okay.
get it wrong, and you hear this. Oh no!
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. The first premise. A group of space poor bounty hunters live on a ship with a genius dog and a woman who is 100% definitely hiding from her credit card debt. Also, you have 30 seconds to answer.
I'm going to say it's an anime.
It is an anime?
Yeah.
What is your reasoning for that?
I think all of the parts about it sound so absurd that it would make sense that even if, like, in the actual story, maybe she's not necessarily saying that it's credit card debt, but you probably hear a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and different things of like why she's on this trip and she probably doesn't want to be, because it's like, who wants to be in a flying spaceship with some sort of genius dog that's annoying you all the time and it's always like proving you wrong. But I think all those things compounded together make me want to say it's real.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
That is, of course, the anime classic Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. Now that's one that I have not. I've probably seen one or two episodes.
Sure.
Definitely have not watched it in full. I was curious about the live action, but then everyone hated it so much.
It is not
I never
good.
Watched it.
It is not good.
Oh, who's in the live? The live action.
Is that John Cho?
Yeah, John. That's what I'm thinking of. John Cho. Yeah.
Yeah, not a good adaptation of a anime classic.
That one came out. Was it 2020?
It came out during the pandemic.
Yeah. Because I remember it was during lockdown when it came out, and people were just outraged because they hated it. So I honestly, I never knew that was. I thought it was something with like space pirates or whatever, but I honestly never knew that was like a broken down definition of it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one.
Okay. A girl inherits a haunted laundromat where the ghosts of former samurais demand their kimonos be washed in the tears of their enemies. You have 30 seconds. Go.
That sounds very much like it would be be a show. My only apprehension is it's like, I don't want to just say yes. It's like when you're filling out those little bubbles on the standardized test, you don't want to have the line going down too long. It does sound very plausible because I feel like the story is like, oh, she inherits this laundromat and one day she like knocks over something and it's like the spirits were held in this like old dryer or whatever and she knocked it free and now they're there and telling her like do it. But I'm gonna say Anna Nay.
And your reasoning why?
Nay. I think that it might be a little too absurd, but also I'm perfectly prepared to be wrong.
Okay. And the answer? You are correct.
Oh, yay.
I made that up. I would not be surprised if that is an anime that will come out in the next 10 years.
I would not be surprised. And
it seems like a good premise.
It's a good premise. And I want everyone to know if you see an anime of this style and this thought process, just know that it was an idea stolen from Kid Licorish.
Absolutely.
So,
give me my money. That's all I ask. Now, are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
A 1,000-year-old elf decides to go on a walking tour to see some flowers, mostly because she realized her human friends have a really inconvenient habit of dying.
That doesn't sound far-fetched.
30 seconds.
It doesn't sound far-fetched. Because my thing right now, I'm trying to think, are you going to do a yes, no, yes, no, yes, no? Or a yes, no, no, yes? Or a yes, no, 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 yes? It sounds plausible. It sounds like it would be one of the, what is that one you've been watching where they're in the dungeons eating the monsters?
Delicious in Dungeon.
This sounds like it would be one of the people from Delicious in Dungeons, where they would be like, they would come upon them and be like, oh yeah, I'm with you because my friends keep dying.
Final answer.
I'm going to go with it's not an anime. And it's an Ani-Mayhem or Aninay.
Aninay. So your final answer is Aninay, and your reasoning.
My reasoning is that the premise was that the elf have it going on this walking tour because their friends die. I feel like, well, you've been around for a long time. I feel like you would have known that already, that your friends are going to be dying. I don't think you would need to go on this like quest as some sort of self-realization, because if you're like 1,000 years old or something like that, hundreds of years old, you would have already experienced that, you know, within your first 100 years, that your friends are going to be dying because you're going to live longer than them. And I think it's the idea that they're going around looking for flowers is just a little too absurd and like wholesome, but also that could be my downfall. But that's why.
Okay, so your answer is Aninay.
Aninay.
Okay, and the answer is, oh no! Yes, that is the real premise of Frieren, one of the best anime that is currently out. It is currently on its second season.
I feel like I've seen you watch this one.
I have been watching it, waiting for the dubs to catch up, but it is a reflective journey of a 1,000-year-old elf who retraces her steps after her and her party defeated the Demon King in her world. They've all, well, you know, like, she's lost a lot of people on the way, and it's a more reflective journey for her in which she learns to value the life of humans.
And now this is one that, looking at the picture, like, honestly, a lot of these animes, I will say one thing about anime, it's a lot of copy and paste. Like, similar looks, similar uniforms, similar, like, little storylines. So I honestly would never have been able to look at this and be like, oh yeah, for sure, it's this thing that you've been watching.
Absolutely. And right now the tally is, we've asked 3 questions and you have gotten 2 of them correct.
Oh, okay.
I believe, right?
All right, I think so.
So
I'm taking every point I can get.
Exactly. That's 2 for you. So next prompt, are you ready?
I'm ready.
A school for magical accountants where students have to balance the world's karma using giant calculators that double as bazookas.
I 100% think this is an anime because it's so absurd and ridiculous. There's also a lot of school-based shows. It's like, I'm watching anime makes me very curious about like Japanese culture. Because usually most of the animes, even though of course there are animes that come out from across Asia.
Yes.
But I think the Japanese ones are the ones that are the biggest, most popular, and that we get most often or whatever. But it has such it does give, I think, a very interesting insight into the culture. And one thing that I think is a big part of the culture is schools. Like school, whatever it is, doesn't matter if it's for kids, for adults, or whatever. So many of these animes are based in a school atmosphere where they have these different trials, tribulations, and romance, and villains, and frenemies, and all that. So I'm going to say, yes, this is an anime.
Okay, so your final answer is anime.
Yes.
And the answer is... oh no! I made that shit up.
It sounded so plausible.
I made it up.
This sounds so plausible. I can literally, I can see it.
I can see it too.
I can see it.
I can see it too.
So that was a good little tricky trick.
Okay.
All right, continue.
All right. Next one. A high school boy discovers he can pause time, but only while he is holding his breath. If he exhales, the world resets to the beginning of the day.
I was really ready to say yes, it's an anime.
30
because
seconds.
This has been something that we've seen in various shows where like a character has this ability to time travel or stop time or whatever, but it's like connected to something so like mundane.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of
10 seconds left.
some of the ones we've watched. I'm gonna say Aninay.
Ani-Nay.
Because I think it's connected to some that we've watched, but I don't think this hits it on the head.
So your final answer is Ani-Nay.
Mhm.
This is not a real anime.
Yeah.
You are correct. I made that one up.
Yes.
Okay.
But I can also see this happening.
Absolutely.
Like that being his, because it's like, you know, a lot of times when people do the like, what's your power? What do you want it to be? Da, 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 and they'll be like, okay, you're going to have this power, but you also have to have like a negative consequence.
There's also been a lot of anime that have like time manipulation powers.
Yeah.
Puella Madoka Magica.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Erased.
wait, actually, did we get to that point? Anyhow, Erased. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I do think that time manipulation might be one of the coolest powers.
Now, I do think in Puella Magica we watched the whole first season.
I'm not sure if we watched it till completion. All right. The final question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
A woman with blue hair gets a guitar, hits a kid over the head with it, and then a robot grows out of the kid's forehead like a pimple. You have 30 seconds. Go.
Oh my God. This is a ridiculous story. I don't know if it's the ridiculousness makes it more real or if it's just leaning on the absurd to trick me. This is hard because this is something I could see happening.
4 seconds.
Like it reminds me of The Head, that MTV adult animated show. Okay. I'm gonna say it's an Ani-Nay because I don't recall you watching anything like this, but honestly, who knows? It's a 50-50 toss up. I'm just putting it out there.
So your final answer is Ani-Nay.
Ani-Nay.
And the answer is, oh no! Yeah, that's right. I just described to you the classic anime Fully Cooley, or FLCL.
Okay, now this one I do not think I've seen you watch.
It is a classic miniseries anime that premiered on Adult Swim. It is a classic.
Now, can you give me a recap of it again? What is the description?
So do you want the description that I wrote, or do you want the actual description of
whichever one you think is better?
I think the actual description of the show is a lot better than what I did, because essentially what I did was try to boil down the essence of each show in a way that wouldn't be so distinct that you would be able to guess, to make things a little bit more challenging. Mm-hmm. But Fully Cooley is a 6-episode 2000 OVA series centering on Naoto, a cynical 12-year-old boy in a boring town whose life is upturned by Haruko, an eccentric guitar-wielding alien. She hits him with her bass, causing robots to emerge from his head, drawing him into a chaotic battle against the mysterious Medical Mechanica Corporation. And honestly, it is ultimately an allegory for puberty.
Turning red.
It is. Yeah, I guess I've never heard put it that way, but Fully Cooley is the turning red of anime.
turning computers, or turning binary.
I've never thought to. I never thought to.
Let's watch this show and watch Turning, because I feel like the show, as you said, it's a miniseries.
It's only 6 episodes.
So I feel like the 6 episodes connected were probably the length of Turning Red.
I will see where it's at so that we can watch it legally. Yes. Are you ready for the next game?
I am ready for the next game.
The next game is Trope Court. So essentially, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to present classic anime tropes.
Okay.
And you are going to be acting like the judge and jury.
Okay.
You have to decide whether this trope is iconic, annoying, overused, would watch, or should be banned. I'm going to present the trope to you as if it's like a charge in court. You're going to give your verdict. Okay. You're going to explain why you ruled that way.
Okay.
I might defend the trope.
All right. Do you have evidence?
But ultimately, this is going to be playful. Okay. I don't think you provide evidence after the verdict has been written.
Oh,
that would be a weird court case.
Ooh, it's a kangaroo court. Who knows?
Okay. So first up, the beach episode. No matter how serious the plot is, the characters must stop everything for swimsuits, sunscreen, and zero progress.
Mm-hmm.
This can be found in many anime. Off the top of my head, I would say, Darling in the Franxx had a pretty notorious beach episode. I'm not sure if we ever finished.
Darling in the Franxx, the one in the school?
Yes.
Is that the one where they are? It's like a Hunger Games situation? No, that's Kill la Kill.
No, that's Kill la Kill.
What is Darling in the Franxx?
Darling in the Franxx is where they are in robots in sexual positions. Do you remember that? Do you remember watching Darling in the Franxx? I think we maybe watched 1 or 2 episodes.
I remember watching Darling in the Franxx, but I don't remember that because I remember we watched Kill la Kill first.
It's not a hentai; it's an actual anime where two people pilot robots by getting into like doggy style positions.
This is you saying that. You saying that does make me think of.
We watched at least 1 or 2 episodes.
We definitely watched a few episodes of this. I'm gonna say would watch. I say would watch because I think that I do
for the beach episode.
Because I think that a lot of times in a series, whether written or otherwise, when it's something very like stressful or whatever, you need a little respite. So I don't mind the respite as long as it's like, so you need to have that episode where like nothing's really happening. And it's just like, we're just chilling, we're having fun. Like, I personally am someone who I need there to be a little semblance of joy in a space. I don't want it to always just be constantly fighting, scared, or running away from whatever. Like, I want there to be some part where they could just have a rest. Because I think it's close to real life. Like, you could be fighting a lot, but sometimes you just get a little rest. And you get some enjoyment. You get to, like, be who you truly are without all the other bullshit. So I think that's important.
Okay. All right. So, the verdict is... Would watch.
Would watch. Yes.
There we go. The verdict for the beach episode is would watch.
I love the beach. So anytime I can get myself in some way connected to a beach, I'm doing it.
Okay, absolutely. That's understandable. Now, next up, the screaming power-up. The screaming power-up. A character loses a fight, screams for a full episode, glows brighter, and suddenly becomes unstoppable. Of course, the most notorious of this would be Dragon Ball Z.
Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan.
Yes.
Or Super Saiyan 2. Or Super Saiyan 3. Or Ultra Instinct. Like, there's so many.
I'm going to say overused.
Now, why would you say overused? What? Defend your verdict.
So perhaps when Dragon Ball Z was like the main thing and we didn't have so many others to choose from, perhaps this would have just been a would watch or iconic or whatever, because it does signify like the characters at their wits' end and they're going for it. Doesn't matter. I'm going, putting it in my all. At this point, though, it's so done. We've seen it so many times that it's like, okay, like how much this is nothing special about it. It's not like interesting. It's not like, oh my God, this is groundbreaking. It's florals during spring. So I think that it's why I'm like, overused.
So your final verdict for the screaming power-up is overused.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, the accidental fall romance. One tiny trip somehow becomes a full body crash into an awkward romantic pose, followed by blushing and panic.
Yeah.
I would say that the first time I saw this trope was maybe around the 1/2. But I think I've seen it in Tenchi Muyo. I've seen it in all of like romantic anime. I believe they also have it in Kaguya-sama Love is War, in the episode where they get trapped in the gym supply closet. So what would you say?
I'm going to say overused. Mainly, it's not annoying. It's not annoying. It's overused. It's similar to like, live action movie or show when you have the love interest like bend down and hit their heads, right? This is it's something where you're clearly trying to carve out some sort of like relationship between these two, and this is how we're going to do it. There's going to be a whole will they, won't they. I think there's better ways that are more interesting and fun to do besides like tripping. Oh my God. And this is coming from me, who is a clumsy person.
Yes, you are clumsy.
I'm a trip and fall anywhere I want to be.
Yes.
Just like American Express. All right? But I just feel like it's just constant. And it's like they do it to signify, oh, these people are going to be a love interest. Okay, we could have figured that out some other way. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. I think it is definitely overused. I will not say it's annoying. And I don't think it should be banned yet, but definitely overused.
Okay. So your verdict for this is overused for the accidental fall romance. Now, next up, the tournament arc. I would say that, every problem somehow turns into a bracket system where people punch their feelings into the ground. What would you say is your verdict?
Okay,
I will give you some examples of tournament arcs. Dragon Ball Z, specifically in the first half of Dragon Ball Notorious, had several tournament arcs.
I've never watched that.
Dragon Ball Z ended with the Cell tournament arc. Yu Yu Hakusho famously had one of the best tournament arcs. Hunter x Hunter had their first tournament arc. Naruto, the Chunin exams, had a tournament arc. My Hero Academia also had their Culture Festival tournament arc.
You're naming so many of them that I do not watch. So I need name ones that I know, or at least I've watched at least a few episodes.
I don't think I can, because I don't think that I have.
Kill la Kill. Was there a tournament arc in that? Because that was
Actually, I believe there was a tournament arc in Kill la Kill.
I think they had a tournament arc.
They also had a tournament arc. It was either a tournament or a gauntlet.
Yeah, it was a whole gauntlet thing.
Because she had to battle the four student body presidents before she could get to the.
And they had that weird teacher.
Yeah. Yes. So, what say you of the infamous tournament arc?
I'm gonna say for these iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because the ones that I've watched, it's usually towards like getting towards the finale or whatever. Like it's supposed to signify some sort of like key ending or beginning for the character.
Sure.
And I think that is really cool. It adds a lot of like suspense and you don't know what to do. People are probably their characters that you know and love who might end up hurt or dead or whatever. So I think that part's fun. I think that adds to the anime.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
It's interesting. So
your final verdict for tournament arcs is iconic. Okay. And honestly, in this one, I think I would agree with you. I think I agree with you in the last one, but I also agree with you with this one. I think that tournament arcs, when used well, can be a good sort of tool to flesh out characters, to match up characters in an environment where you can, because there's always power scaling in a lot of anime. You can power scale certain characters with other characters that maybe those combinations you would not have thought like how they would match up. And again, it builds the character because they're put into a situation that they were maybe not prepared or ready for. And I just think it's iconic because we've had so many tournament arcs in anime that like it just is like a staple
I think
of
that
shonen anime.
at least from my perspective of what I've seen, it's in a lot of the animes. And also, it usually isn't something that brings the story down.
Sure.
You might leave sad, disappointed because your favorite character got hurt or died or whatever, but it's usually through something like really interesting and awesome and cool that you're seeing it happen. So
yes, understandable. Next trope, the overly pervy mentor. A gross old man somehow exists in every anime and is always treated like comic relief. This is Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Z. This is the Toad Sage in Naruto. Even though he's not a mentor, I would say this is also Mineta in My Hero Academia. Go.
Should be banned. Should be banned.
Why?
Because I feel like one thing about animes that I have noticed is they play it real fast and loose when it comes to sexual deviancy. There's sometimes there's a lot of taboo family romance.
Haven't even gotten into that trope, but
there's a lot of like old, like, because in Kill la Kill, her whole teacher is like trying to seduce her. It's like there's a lot of weird behavior that I think needs to be banned because I think it is like I said before, it's interesting to see how other cultures seeing them through their art. And I think that this being such a huge piece of anime culture to me suggests, I could be wrong, but it suggests that this kind of behavior is normalized. And if you watch any if you've ever seen or watched any sort of X-rated Japanese, Korean, whatever, like Asian porn, you can see these tropes playing out. And I think that for the betterment of the population, that they can just hang it up. We don't need a creepy old man coming in here, make everything weird for everybody, getting everyone like giving them standoffish vibes. Let's just take it out. We don't need it.
Sure.
Because the thing is, in these animes, there's always going to be some sort of creepy guy, right? Or who's like sex obsessed or whatever. That you could do it without it being like gross and disgusting and creepy.
Sure.
Because Sanji is 100% like a creep, but he's a lovable creep.
I would. So, okay. Where's your final verdict? That it should be banned.
Should be banned.
Okay. I am 100% with you. I understand the origins of this character. I understand that culturally it's like a sense of humor type thing. But I think that Mineta from My Hero Academia was probably the last straw where we collectively in the anime community said, like, this is a tired trope. We can move on from this because this is ridiculous. Like, we don't need to. All right. So we're going to move on. This has been Trope Court.
Trope Court.
Or Trope Court, I should say. The last game that we're going to play, and we're going to keep this brief, simple, straightforward.
Okay.
Protag Therapy Sessions. What's going to happen is I am going to introduce each character to you like a patient intake form.
Okay.
You're going to act as the therapist or the doctor. You're going to diagnose the emotional issue, trauma, or coping problem.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay.
So, the first protagonist that we are going to diagnose, Shinji Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
This is one where, I don't know, we've talked about it. I feel like we've watched this one before.
We have never watched it. A 14-year-old boy with severe abandonment issues. His father ignored him for years, only to call him back to pilot a giant biological weapon that is physically and mentally painful to use. He is told he is the only one who can save humanity, but he spends most of his time crying, shutting down, and saying he must not run away. With that information, I have this question to ask. And sorry, the thing is, I will explain the synopsis of the character. I will ask you a question. You'll diagnose him.
Okay.
With everything that I've just said about Shinji, is this a hero we should be cheering for, or are we looking at a textbook case of severe childhood trauma and a government-funded child labor violation?
I'm going to probably say something controversial. Both.
Explain yourself.
So, I 100% think he definitely needs to be in therapy. There's abandonment issues, attachment issues, the feeling like the hero, like you have to save everyone or whatever like that. But I think that within telling those stories, it could possibly be something that unearths things that we weren't expecting.
Sure. So what would you say is your final diagnosis?
Jeez. I'm just trying to look at my feelings wheel.
Sure. Would it help or hurt or hinder in any way if I told you that Shinji is also piloting a robot that also possibly contains the soul of his dead mother?
Low-key wanted to say borderline personality disorder because he's dealing with two different personalities in there. Okay, I'm going to say a post-traumatic stress disorder because I think that can... and also, I'm going to put depression in there.
Sure.
I'm going to put depression because it's a mixture of he's dealing with, obviously, you can imagine he's probably depressed over the death of his mother, regardless of how long ago it was, on top of the PTSD of like having to deal with the father that he has and save the world and all that.
Sure.
I'm going to put those together.
Okay, so your final diagnosis is what?
Depression and PTSD.
PTSD and depression. All right. Shinji, you got depression and PTSD. Deal with it. Next up, we have Saitama from One Punch Man. A man who trained so hard he became the strongest being in existence. He can end any threat with one punch, but now he feels almost nothing. No fear, no joy, no challenge. His biggest emotional reaction comes from a video game and grocery sales. My question to you is Saitama a Zen master who has reached enlightenment, or is he suffering from a chronic boredom because nothing can challenge him anymore?
Chronic boredom. I think that even if all these things lead to him doing good, because of the trauma he's experienced, it's not able to shift itself into like the positives one would hope that you would get from like helping people.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay. So your final diagnosis.
I think there's some OCD and perhaps some psychosis.
Okay.
Because,
can you explain both?
I think it's like, excuse me. I think it's psychosis because when you are psychotic, someone who is labeled psychotic means they do not experience the emotions in the same way as others.
Okay.
So I can imagine someone in his position might be so over it and so just like
detached
from reality that they're not seeing others' emotions in this space the way that they might have without all this other trauma. So I'm going to say the OCD.
Where does the OCD come from?
Because I think you mentioned that he had to be laser focused.
I didn't.
What
I said was a man who trained so hard, he became the strongest being in existence. He can end any threat with one punch, but now he feels almost nothing. No fear, no joy, no challenge. His biggest emotional reaction comes from video games and grocery.
I think that shows that like he had to be completely obsessed with this one particular goal, and that like his now whether this is a trauma based OCD or the OCD that he already had and then it was exacerbated, either one, who knows?
Sure.
But that he had to spend so much time working upon this goal because obviously he had this goal for a reason.
Sure.
And so now, like, he's just strictly focused on that. That's why everything else is so boring to him. Because nothing really matters at all. And then...
very Lauryn Hill of him.
And then you add on the being psychotic and not having the emotions of others. And being he's no longer able to understand the emotions of others because being psychotic does not mean that you're going to go around killing people or anything like that. It just means you just don't relate to people's emotions the way that they might relate to yours. So I'm doing both of those together.
Okay, fair enough. All right, the final patient that we have today is Mob from Mob Psycho, a polite middle school kid with ridiculous psychic powers who tries to suppress every emotion he has because if his stress gets too high, he becomes a psychic disaster. Instead of using his powers for, attention, he joined a body improvement club and just wants to be normal. My question to you is bottling up is bottling it all up a sustainable lifestyle choice when your emotions can literally destroy a city block?
No, it is not. I think that bottling up your emotions, regardless of the powers you have, is not good. Because we have the reasons we have our emotions is to give our body like a temperature of where we are.
Sure.
Right? And so we know that people who bottle their emotions up, even in real life, they're going to end up blowing up at you. So I never think it's a good idea to bottle up your emotions, whatever they may be, because I think that it is important to feel your feelings, and feeling your feelings may mean...
Sorry, this is also Mob from Mob Psycho 100. I'm not sure if I ever presented him to you.
Yes, I've seen him. Well, you've watched it before, so I've seen it.
Yes.
So feeling your feelings does not mean that you're like blowing up on everyone. It just means you're feeling them. And I think if you constantly are pushing them down and pushing them back out of sight, you're going to end up blowing up on everybody in a way that just is not healthy. So, and then what was the second question?
I only asked one question.
That was one. Okay.
My question would be, what would your diagnosis be for him?
Okay.
And why?
So I had dissociative identity disorder because he has been pushing back these key parts of his personality. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're doing that for so long, it could splinter your consciousness in various ways. There was another one.
Would it change your diagnosis if I told you that his mentor is a con artist who uses him for his own personal gain while also giving him great advice when it comes to personal development?
No, I think that I would give his mentor a specific diagnosis, but I wouldn't change his, because at the end of the day, there are key parts of his personality and his feelings or whatever that are being subdued and or manipulated. So DID, I'm going to say anxiety, phobia. You could also say he might have a split personality. Who knows, to be honest. Paranoia, apathy, because you have to be apathetic to be able to get through all these things.
It's also funny that you mentioned apathy for Ma, but you didn't mention apathy for Saitama.
I did, but I also didn't have it on a list of things.
Okay, fair enough.
And I also want to add in a little sneaker here. I think he probably has a sleep disorder.
A sleep disorder?
Yeah, because he's so stressed out about all these things he's constantly dealing with. He might not be sleeping well.
Fair enough.
So
okay, and that has been Protag Therapy Sessions. Thank you all for listening and watching the show. I have been Mo, aka Kid Licorish. And until next time, you've been.
And who am I? Am I not involved?
You're supposed to jump in. At no point did you jump in. I'm Mo Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And we will see you next time. Take it easy, keep it sleazy. Bye!
Bye!
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.